The following is a special presentation of the Steele Twins Gaming in accordance with the Outside Blitz. And now, here are your hosts, the fabulous Scotty Fraytown, the Bootleg Bettor, and the Cannonball, Alex Steele.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Outside Blitz. I am your host, the fabulous one, Scotty Fraytown, along with my co-hosts, the Cannonball, Alex Steele. Alex, welcome back to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, everybody. You know, and I got some good news for you. It's football season once again.
Yeah, we're right here. I mean, we're not going to have another week without football until February. So, I mean, get ready for that. And joining me to my left, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. Who better to be than the Bootleg Bettor? Boots, how we doing today?
Well, that's a little word hard to take it. Well, I'm the thorn in your side when everybody's getting flowers. I got better coverage than a 5G tower. He's used to burning corners. He won't get past today. I'm a menace, Mr. Wilson, so now he's a castaway. Don't gamble on him deep. That price is too steep. Because I'm sticking to him like he's got gum in his cleats. They said he was a beast. What's a beast to a monster? I got more breakups than a Coldplay concert. He's yelling to the sideline, Coach, I can't do shit, and neither can you about the Outside Blitz. Hey, man, Steele got the juice, Fraytown, count G's. I'm the Bootleg Bettor, pay the taxes and fees. What?
Oh!
They said it was preseason, Scotty. So why am I in mid-season form?
Because of the Bootleg Bettor.
Who better to be?
Tackle, dog. You know I bring the thunder. So don't send them across the middle because I'm a one-hit wonder. Let's go.
Indeed.
Back, Boots coming in hot, and we've got was that a Castaway reference, by the way? A Tom Hanks reference on here.
What?
Wilson, man, that was a hard pull there.
I thought that was a Dennis the Menace reference.
No, sir.
That's a 3D. That's 3D reference.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, that's Inception. Very impressive.
Goodness gracious. Well,
I'm
folks,
a menace, Mr. Wilson. So now he's a castaway.
I love that. I love that.
That is cold.
Goodness gracious.
It's
Well,
gonna take him a few years to figure that one out.
yeah. Well, folks, this is we're on the cusp of football here. We're 2 weeks away from our draft for our fantasy football league of record, so that's going to be a good time. The Bob Wilson Memorial League is going to be kicking off, and you guys got it made here. Boots gets the number 1 overall pick this year. Alex winds up with the number 2 overall pick this year. So you guys got it made. I wound up at pick 5. We'll be talking about fantasy football stuff after our draft on the 23rd. So we've got that going on. So on the episode after our draft, we'll get talking about that. That should be just after the first game of the season. We'll have our first episode for the regular season. So it'll be right after September the 5th, which is the first game, that first showdown. If I'm not mistaken, we've got Bills and Ravens opening up the season. That's a showdown of the ages. But we'll jump into that on our next episode. For now, lots of preseason stuff going on, lots of off-season stuff happening, lots of training camp stuff happening. We're going to jump into the news around the league here. Let's jump in. First and foremost, let's just talk about something really little to start the day, all right? We're going to get a little appetizer. Jaguars kicker Cam Little.
I see what you did there.
He connected on a 70-yard, you like that, right? He had connected on a 70-yard field goal in a preseason game.
Right.
Holy shit.
Right.
That was insane. So that's a thing. But also, so we wanted to just give him kudos for that because that has never been done. But also,
I mean, you wish it was in the real record books, right?
Yeah.
Because you go, oh man, I wonder if they can do that in the regular season. If he does that in the regular season.
Oh man, goodness gracious. And also, let's talk about your boy. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about him. Your boy Shedeur Sanders. He had an excellent preseason debut, 11 for 18. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, looked better than any of them Browns quarterbacks out there. Yeah, he was killer. You may be right spot on about old Shedeur.
The Jaws 50th anniversary, and coming out of these Jaws was the one telling you Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback in the class, and saying that for the last 3 years.
Yep.
This dude had it. If it wasn't for the attitude, the look at me, the blah 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 blah, blah all the nonsense, like the off the not even off the field, even though we had the deal with the
interviews,
yeah, but the you know what I mean, the personality stuff, I just don't like it, and blah blah blah, all that stuff. You get rid of all of that, and you just play football.
Right. He plays good ball.
He's got it. You're right. The accuracy. Now he did do the fade back. I'm gonna turn this way and then turn that way. There's a defensive end tackle.
Yeah.
Right. He did that a couple of times, but I think he learned from that during the game, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, these are the times to learn those things though, and to figure it out. That's why it's preseason, and he's starting to figure out that this hero ball shit doesn't work, and that's what he kind of learned the hard way, but he learned it at least in preseason.
And the thing is, he didn't need to do it. Right? It's just step up into the pocket, throw it away, run for a few yards, slide.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to fade back and try to make the highlight play. Just make the right play at the right time.
Take the high percentage stuff.
Yeah.
Step up in the pocket. If you need to make a play with your legs, do it. Slide, please. Slide.
Yeah. Right.
And slide on your butt. Don't be doing that dive head first stuff like Tua Tagovailoa was doing last year.
Yeah.
Or like we saw J.J. McCarthy doing the preseason last year, where you and I were both sitting there watching the game together, and we both gasped in horror.
Oh, man. I hate seeing Shedeur Sanders get up off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? I saw it way too much in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Saw it a couple of times against the who they played, the Browns. They played the Panthers.
Yeah.
Saw it a few times against the Panthers, but I think he learned throughout the game because we didn't see it as much from the earlier parts of the game. He improved. He was throwing guys open, putting it where only they could get it. And seeing that at Colorado, you saw it at Jackson State. If you were watching those games like I was, then you would see that this is what his game is, and this is what he has been doing.
Yeah. And the Browns, they do have some quarterback issues over there still, even with Shedeur Sanders looking as good as he did. They go out, so Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are both dealing with injuries right now. They go out and sign quarterback Tyler Huntley, the former Baltimore Raven. So they add him to the quarterback room, which is interesting as all hell.
They have this article on NFL.com has a sentence that puts it together almost perfectly. There are currently 6 quarterbacks on the Cleveland Browns roster, and 3 of them are unable to play. Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are injured, and of course we have the Deshaun Watson debacle, who's now on the PUP list with a torn Achilles tendon after he was dancing with his wife, girlfriend, or whatever. So, obviously Joe Flacco's favored to be the starter. But, it's probably looking like Flacco, Shedeur, and Tyler Huntley.
Hold on.
You didn't hear about that?
Hold on. See, this is the news where I get broken. The news broken to me, too. Yeah. What happened?
So this was months ago. We broke this on the show months ago. But he tore his Achilles last year.
Yeah.
Got it repaired.
Yeah.
And then about a month later, he was dancing with his girlfriend before his Achilles had healed and tore it again. They were out on a mountain and they were dancing together.
How did I not know? How did I not hear about that?
And he tore it again. So he's
wow.
So that dummy is on the PUP and he'll be on
dummy. Oh wow.
So just when you think the Deshaun Watson debacle couldn't get any worse.
Wow. It just keeps getting worse. I mean, it's
work for the Browns front office, that accounting department.
Yeah, and at least the owner said, that was a huge miss. No shit.
Yeah.
It took you this long to figure it out, huh? That contract is going to haunt them forever.
Oh yeah, call him Jimmy Hasbin.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had that whole thing go on in the preseason game for the Browns, and then another preseason issue happened. We'll talk about this real quick. The Lions and Falcons preseason game, it was suspended after Lions defensive back Maurice Norris. He suffers a scary injury. The good news is he has since woken up. He's in the hospital. He's breathing fine. His mother was there with him. He's talking. everything's fine. But what a scary situation that turned out to be.
Yep, I saw it happen live. They were interviewing a player on the sidelines. I don't know who they were talking to, but they were running the play, and apparently one of the Falcons players, his leg violently collided with Maurice Norris's head, and he just laid there like he got shot. Like he was unmoving. He was completely unconscious. And I mean, I noticed it, and I'm looking back. I'm like, why is everybody standing around in a circle? What's happening? And then obviously we find out this news.
Yeah, it was a scary situation. Thankfully, he's okay. We wish Mr. Norris there all the
best,
and we wish him the best. We hope that it winds up not being a super serious situation in the future. We hope he can get back on the field at some point. So good luck to him. Also, let's go out and let's talk about another strange injury that occurred. Panthers corner J.C. Horn. He's dealing with a thumb injury after getting into a car crash on the way to the stadium. So J.C. Horn dealing with thankfully it was just a thumb, but
10 minutes earlier, brother.
Yeah, so
you don't have to rush to get there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad it's only a thumb,
yeah.
Right? But you need it.
Yeah, you do need opposable thumbs to play in the NFL. But it was thankfully it was just a thumb. He's considered day to day at this point, but that's an interesting situation. Another also a brutal injury. Colts running back Selvin Ahmed, he gets carted off the practice field with a season-ending ankle injury caused by a hip drop tackle from his teammate Trey Washington. If you don't know Selvin Ahmed, folks, I sure do. Former Miami Dolphin. He actually filled in quite admirably during Miami's more rough seasons before the Tua Tagovailoa year, where they needed a running back, and they had Selvin Ahmed out there was one of those guys. And he had himself a nice little stretch of games for a period there. But
he was backing up Myles Gaskin.
Yes,
and he also backed up Myles Gaskin at Washington.
Yeah, and then
it was kind of fun.
It was him and one other running back whose name escapes me, but it's funny because I actually had that other running back in fantasy and Selvin Ahmed because I saw them pop in. But he wound up going down later that year too. Ahmed did, and it was just a rough go. He's had a little rough go with injuries, but we wish Selvin Ahmed all the best as well. He'll be out for the year though.
Yeah, and then another point is made. We talked about how hip drop tackles were banned in the NFL, or at least they were going to be calling it penalties for hip drop tackles. So I'm like, when you mentioned me, go, I mean, I'm telling you, it didn't happen last year, but I'm having that in the back of my pocket. There's going to be a high-profile game somewhere down the line where somebody doesn't remember what's going on, does a hip drop tackle, and it causes a major, a major outcome. I mean, I'm telling you, it's something. This is some serious business.
Yeah, the hip drop tackle situation. On one end, the injuries that are related to hip drop tackles. Some are more severe than others, obviously, but the percentage of injuries that actually occur from the hip drop tackle are it's very little.
Minuscule.
But when a real injury happens, that's when everybody goes, "Oh, hey, there it is!" But it's such a finite amount, of injuries that actually occur. It's kind of a catch-22 there.
It reminds me of when Tom Brady was playing. And during the early season game, Tom Brady was hit low, and it injured him, and he was out for the season. Right? I think Matt Castle came in and played for the rest of the year. I think the Patriots won 10 games that year.
Yeah, they had a good year.
Yeah, didn't make the playoffs though. It was weird, but then they started instituting the low hit rule on the QB because the marquee guy. Right, headliner, top guy was injured, and boom, there it was.
Yeah, well, that's
and
exactly.
That rule been, stuck around since.
So that's exactly why they did the whole landing on a quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Is Anthony Barr broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone.
Yeah.
When the Vikings played the Packers.
Yeah.
So I mean that type of thing took place, and now it's
only when the superstars get injured. Oh, we got to change this rule.
Yep. And that's kind of what happened with the Rodgers situation. Oh, you can't put all your weight on the quarterback because he broke Rodgers' collarbone. They call it the Rodgers rule. So I mean,
you can do it to a D tackle, no problem.
Yeah, no big deal there.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, only the marquee quarterbacks. So we have that going on. We also have a few injuries from on the field. Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir, he's considered week to week due to an ankle sprain. So the Bills dealing with some injury stuff this offseason. I don't know if anybody's realized that. It's been quite a bit so far, including Landon Jackson, who we talked about on the last show.
Yeah.
He got injured as well. He's considered day-to-day now. Also, Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield, he's considered day-to-day with a hand contusion. So we got Baker, hurt his hand. Oh, yeah, you should be. You hope. And then also Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely, he's got to have surgery on his broken foot. He's set to miss about 6 weeks with that.
Well, I bet you part of it was because week 1 last year, he was a toe away from winning or at least forcing overtime.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad.
Somebody tell me I'm wrong, though. No, but still, I guess we had to do that.
Yeah. Also,
that's bad but just on the likelihood that you probably, they say 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You probably get headache because that's a foot, right? And he's 250, 260 pounds or whatever. Think of all that weight coming down on 2 feet.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be a natural thing to try to mitigate the weight distribution and try not to injure the foot again. So I think you're looking at 8 weeks.
Yeah, it takes time, and it's not a spot that a lot of blood flow goes to.
Yeah.
So it takes a minute for that stuff. And having, we're all wrestlers here. People know that we're former professional wrestlers, and as somebody who has broken his foot on a number of occasions in the ring, it takes a second. You don't just immediately just start walking on that bitch. It takes a while for that to heal.
And you're not 6'5", 250.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So it's an interesting situation. But you feel bad for Isaiah Likely because he's coming off of 2 seasons really where last year he started out so hot and then kind of really was nothing later on because Mark Andrews got red hot. But the year before that, Isaiah Likely had himself a breakout season.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Likely, he showed and he proved that he can be a number 1 tight end in this league. So you got to wonder, what's going to happen with Isaiah Likely. And I know the Ravens are probably looking to – Mark Andrews getting up there in the years. He's on the back end of 30, or on the wrong side of 30, rather. So are they going to sit and wait for Isaiah Likely to do what he's got to do, heal up? Is he still being considered as the heir apparent to Mark Andrews? You
would think, right? But they still have Charlie Kolar.
They do
over there. So the Ravens, once again, one of the teams I trust more than any other with the draft.
Yep.
And knowing their personnel and knowing whom to draft and when, I think they'll be okay.
Very good with next man up.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I've noticed about them. Whenever they need a next man up, each guy that comes in, it's like it's seamless almost,
Yeah.
So and you're right. They're from a personnel perspective, they're one of the best in football.
Yeah.
So also in injury land here,
let Patrick Queen go.
Yeah.
Right. Still won the division. Mm-hmm. Still made a deep run into the playoffs.
Still one of the best defenses in football.
Thanks.
Yeah. Also, Cowboys left tackle Tyler Guyton. He suffers a bone fracture in his knee. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So the Cowboys,
no!
Yeah, they'll be without their starting left tackle. They're already dealing with all their injuries on their offensive line, and this does not help things.
Yeah, man. And again, I'm going back to the weight thing. Tyler Guyton got 310, 320 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", and needs, right? So that's, again, weight. You got to make sure that you're in the right positioning. So when you're playing offensive line, automatically there's going to be pressure on your knees because you're in that 3-point stance.
Yep.
And then the explosiveness, you got to drive off the football on the run play. You got to be able to stabilize on the pass play, right? And all that's
that's your back, that's your knees, that's your ankles. So we wish him the best, but man, these Cowboys O-line, ooh,
Yeah, they're
looking a little funky.
very worse for wear. Another guy that's very worse for wear, Titans. Traylon Burks, the wide receiver, the former first-round pick. They traded away A.J. Brown to get this first-round pick to pick up Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks has not panned out. He's been a bum ever since he's come into the league. I know, I feel the same way, Boots. And then
Right.
he goes out, he fractures his collarbone in practice. The Titans have put him on the waived/injured designation. He is officially not a Titan anymore, is Traylon Burks. And
I don't know if he's going to be an NFL player anymore.
frankly, he should be. He's not. When he got drafted, we all said that Traylon Burks was, this is not a good draft pick. And,
You know what?
and he flew up draft boards.
I said he was a prototypical boundary X. Look at the frame. Look at what he can do, right? But there was something missing.
Mm-hmm.
I missed something, right? Apparently the Titans did.
Yeah, and we, when we saw that trade happen, I didn't understand why he was climbing draft boards so heavily when he got picked up. I really wasn't sold on Traylon Burks. He probably was one of the main players in that draft that was slated to go first round, where it's like, I'm not sold on this guy. And he didn't pan out. And it's unfortunate. I don't think he winds up in the NFL anymore. I really don't. He looks so bad with the Titans, between asthma stuff and, conditioning, soft tissue injuries you're talking about. Now you're talking about broken collarbone.
Nothing's been working out on his body since he came in.
Yeah, and the big one was his conditioning was bad. Couldn't function in the heat, and it was rough, man.
He had asthma too.
Yeah, asthma attacks. So it's like, what is going on? So Traylon Burks no longer a Titan. We'll see if he lands anywhere else.
A.J. Brown has the Super Bowl.
Yep. How skilly do the Titans?
I think he has two of them.
Yeah.
He won against the Patriots, and then obviously this one last year. But
so 2 rings for A.J. Brown. Well, he wasn't with the original team.
No.
He wasn't with the Poles team.
oh,
Yep, no, he was not with the big Poles. He made it the one though against the Chiefs. The 1 year. Yeah. So, and also another injury: the Texans running back Joe Mixon. He's expected to miss time due to a lingering foot injury. He actually could miss Week 1. I don't know.
oh.
Man, you hate Joe Mixon. So.
Yeah, not a popular player here with the Bootleg Bettor.
Hell no. Hell no.
He hates Joe Mixon.
Flat out. I don't hate anybody, you know what I mean, really, but the fact, no.
Yeah,
I can do without it, put it that way.
Yeah, he's straight up not a good dude. As a running back, he's a decent running back, but he's
on the field, it's different, right? Off
the field, he's a dick. So, so that's what it comes down to. Also talking about injury stuff, the Dolphins, they went out and signed. So remember, Artie Burns got hurt. He's out for the year. The Dolphins went out and signed 2, not 1, but 2 corners. They go out and signed Mike Hilton and Jack Jones amid the injury-plagued season. If you recall, Mike Hilton played with the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl a few years ago. He's a former Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while. And Jack Jones, the former New England Patriot.
From Arizona State.
Yep. So
I like Jack Jones.
Yep. Jack Jones, he had some off-the-field stuff going on, if I'm not mistaken. Tried to bring a gun onto an airplane at one point. All kinds of off-the-field stuff. But those are 2 good corners and 2 high-end free agent pickups that they're getting for cheap on a 1-year deal. It's going to help fill the losses of Artie Burns and the trade from Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. So you get 2 guys that honestly are probably going to start, in that.
They're going to have to, right?
Yeah, they have 1 corner over there. And that's it. So you've got some questions with that. But we also have an interesting situation with the Chargers. The Chargers have a lot going on right now.
Oh, yes.
Well, first of all, they go out and sign left tackle Rashawn Slater to a 4-year, $114 million extension. It's $28.5 million per year. He gets $92 million guaranteed. Then, right afterwards, the Chargers left tackle Rashawn Slater suffers a season-ending injury to his patellar tendon. So he's done for the year.
Go ahead, Alex. Where you at, Alex?
I'm right here.
Well, you're going to give me the oh no?
No, I'll do that. Oh, no!
There it is. The Chargers are going to move their offensive tackle, Joe Alt, to the left tackle position.
Not a bad move.
Nope, not bad at all. And then they're going to start their former 2019 third-round pick, the 29-year-old David Pipkins, at right tackle. So they're going to get him moved to the right tackle position, and they're just going to make it work. And then, in turn, to get the depth back at the position, they signed the former Raiders 2017 fourth-round pick David Sharp to add depth. So, interesting situation for the Chargers. It's really unfortunate. Rashawn Slater, one of the best left tackles in all of football. If you recall, Joe Alt, originally a left tackle at Notre Dame, got moved to right tackle because you had Rashawn Slater at left. Joe Alt, one of our top 10 rookies last year. He was in the rookie talks. And now he gets kicked over to the left tackle position, his original position. So we're going to see what he does, taking care of the blind side. This is why you pick up a guy like Joe Alt and have him be able to play both positions. I mean, this was a smart move by the Chargers. Just hopefully a seamless transition for them after that injury.
Joe Alt, A-list All-Star, best tackle in the draft that year.
Yep.
I had him at number one, but let's be honest, everyone else did too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it wasn't like I was, pulling the wool over. Hey, check this guy out.
No, it was easy.
Everybody knew, right?
Yeah, easy button.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's going to be guys like that, but then you sneak them with a Cooper DeJean later on, and they say, "Oh, this move's what he's talking about."
Yeah, we
right?
saw that.
But yeah, this is a great move by the Chargers. Savvy move by the coaching staff. Harbaugh knows the offensive line, knows what to do, knows how to make things. Hey, we need you.
Yep.
Right, and he was good enough of a teammate and good enough of a player, right, to be able to make that transition. And this is why a lot of teams, whether college, pro, whatever, they cross-train, right, guys at different positions. We saw this with the Lions.
Yep.
In the last couple of seasons,
right? We saw it on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
We sure did.
When we saw Finay Sewell come into the league, and when the Lions put him on the right side, and everybody, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And they had Taylor Decker on the left, and they moved Sewell over to the left and, shifting. But they did that because you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
And what happened with the Lions just this past off season, with the retirement of Ragnow.
Yep.
Right? So this is why teams will cross-train.
Yep, and you're going to have, probably I think it's Ratledge that's coming in. Ratledge coming in at the center spot, and you're going to have Christian Mahogany working at guard. So, I mean, they shifted those interior guys around a little bit. So
still be Glasgow too.
Yep.
But again, that goes to, hey, if you need you for a stretch of games, can you do it for it?
Yeah. And can you handle the workload? That's it. So it turns out to be hopefully a seamless transition for the Chargers in this situation. Joe Alt, he fits exactly what they're doing. We saw him last year kill it at right tackle. He's probably going to kill it at left. So I'm expecting that. I like the David Sharp signing too, to add that depth, get yourself a good backup, former fourth-round pick. He started in this league for the Raiders, so he's not a bad selection either. So I really like that signing. Now, Alex, I got to give you a hard time, though. It's
oh, boy. Here we go.
while we're talking about the Chargers go out and they sign wide receiver Keenan Allen to a one-year, $8.5 million deal. We were having a discussion about Keenan Allen getting signed. Myself, former host of the show, Tyler Dean, Alex, Andrew.
Yeah, it's our basic group chat offline. We have a lot of fun on there, but so can I please at least defend myself and tell this story? So the discussion got into the realm of, we all know that Keenan Allen signed with the Bears last year, and he was. He'd put on some weight, then he lost it, and me, I was like half asleep. I don't know what the heck I was doing, but at one point, the question popped up in the group chat. It came, my fingers typed it. I pressed send. I said, wasn't Keenan Allen with the Chargers before?
only for 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it turns out that the only team that Keenan Allen's ever been with is the new Los Angeles Chargers. He's been with them since they were in San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't he with them before?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
no shit.
Yeah, so I got to sound the L horn right now.
I couldn't believe. Wasn't he with the Chargers before? I'm like, where have you been?
Please tell me you're joking. I would have saved myself saying, I'm just screwing with you guys, but you know me, I'm like George Washington. I can't lie. I can't do it.
We started hammering him so bad. Oh, well, wasn't Barry Sanders a lion?
Where did Jim Kelly play all these years? And that Walter Payton fella, I mean, he sounds like a good guy. Which team did he play for? The one that ground my gears was, hey, didn't Marino play for the Dolphins? I'm like, you shut your mouth with that. I'm not that dumb.
Where did Dan Marino play all those years?
So he can start fresh that next
year.
year.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he's prepared, you know.
Right. Well, this is akin to an incident that happened when I missed the draft day for the 2022 Bob Wilson Memorial League because I had to stay home because I was dealing with cancer at the time, going through my treatments, and I had to be isolated because of a compromised immune system. I was going through chemo, but I'm sitting at home. And it comes my turn to draft, and I'm just asking because I'm half paying attention to what's going on. I'm like, hey guys, is Derrick Henry on the board?
It's the 8th round. It's the 8th fucking round. And he's asking me if Derrick Henry's still on the board.
Yeah, his name is right underneath somebody else's name on the board.
In the first fucking round, I was like, Derrick Henry?
Right. So yeah, this is now the new is Derrick Henry still on the board moment. Like anytime somebody says something ridiculously obvious or pulls a Booger McFarlane, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing that everybody goes, hey, is Derrick Henry on the board? that news bit was so 12 minutes ago. Stuff like that.
Put him on the board 3 hours ago.
Yeah. We'll talk about something 3 days before. Yeah. Like, for example, Keenan Allen signs a 1-year, $8.5 million deal, and then 3 days later, if somebody gets in that group chat and goes, "Hey, Keenan Allen signed with the Chargers," I always go, "Is Derrick Henry still on the board?" So that's been the running gag. In any case. Keenan Allen signs with the Chargers, $8.5 million. This is a good signing. He's familiar with the Harbaugh system. He's familiar with Justin Herbert. He was one of Justin Herbert's favorite targets. Keenan Allen comes off of a bad year with the Chicago Bears. I mean,
missing year of Keenan Allen's career.
Yeah, and the Chicago Bears really just weren't a good fit for him at the time. I think he would have been a good fit over there with Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson moved into a younger situation with the third and Doomsday, so he's not necessarily needed in Chicago.
Right,
so
and besides, the offensive line was horrible. It wasn't 100% Caleb Williams' fault. Caleb Williams was running for his life most of that season, so it was a rocky start.
And now Keenan Allen goes to a situation where he's very familiar with the Chargers, and he's very familiar with what they're doing over there. He did well under Harbaugh when he was over there for the 1 year that he was there. He did well, and now we're going to be, he's lined up with Ladd McConkey. This comes on the heels of Mike Williams retiring, who they thought was going to be their wide receiver 2 behind Ladd McConkey, and then now it's turning out to be Keenan Allen is going to be the wide receiver 2 this year behind Ladd. So we'll see how that works out, but I think this is a good deal.
Yes.
You get him on the line, 8.5. I mean, that's really nothing for a guy who's going to be a number 2 receiver. You got to like this sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a play, and he has, rapport with the organization. The guys, the longtime veterans in the locker room, they know him as a presence. So he has that veterans mentality. So to add that level of experience to the locker room, it's only going to help the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of veterans getting signed, let's talk about this one. The Bucs go out and sign quarterback Teddy Bridgewater to a 1-year deal.
Man, my favorite quarterback of all time.
Yeah, you love Teddy Bridgewater.
I love Teddy Bridgewater, man. I'm sorry. That's my guy.
Don't apologize. I like him. I like him too.
Love Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy B.
Teddy B.
Teddy.
He was one of those guys that just didn't pan out for the Vikings that everybody thought would pan out. And
He didn't because he was too scared of freaking who's the coach?
Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, he was scared of throwing a pick
Yep.
because Mike Zimmer was browbeating him every damn day
Yeah.
and wouldn't let him just go out and play. Like, dude. Yeah, so I think Teddy played a little bit too conservative when he didn't necessarily need to. I mean, that's a part of his makeup anyway, not to turn the ball over. But I think Zimmer, browbeat him to the point where he was, shell-shocked.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree with you. I think Zimmer was always kind of a rough around the edges type of coach.
Yeah.
And here we are. Teddy Bridgewater has kind of become a journeyman around the league. He had a few starting years with Carolina, and he's just been around the league. New Orleans, yep. So he goes over to back up Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, and we'll see how that works out for him.
And he was also a former high school coach for the Miami Northwestern High School. Led him to a state title.
Yeah. So he's back in because he's from Florida.
Yeah.
Right. So and he went to Louisville.
Yeah, former Louisville product. Yep.
Man, and beat the Florida Gators in I think it was the Fiesta Bowl, I believe. And I'm a Florida Gators fan, so I was mad. But then again, I was like, but I really like this quarterback.
Yep, Bridgewater saw a playoff appearance this past season too.
Sure did.
The Detroit Lions.
Sure did. Led a scoring drive.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, but I love Teddy Bridgewater. Good luck. But he's I'm gonna try to get this ring, and I'm gonna try to do it in the warm weather.
Yeah. Can you blame him?
No.
Yes. Speaking of quarterbacks that Boots likes, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson, he dislocates his pinky finger during the preseason matchup versus the Raiders.
No!
Yeah, oh no. Well, he's currently considered day-to-day.
I do this in jest. I mean, obviously it's not going to be like the end of the world for him, but you do need all 5 of your fingers to throw the football. In my defense,
I've said it once. I'll say it again. Death, taxes, and Anthony Richardson injuries. That's
not an oh no. It's a oh again.
Yeah, this is
right.
It's a recurring theme now.
It hurts me to say this, because you know how much I love Anthony Richardson, how he played, but he was able to transform his body. He went from being so muscular, I think. And I heard a conversation between a couple of podcasters that kind of shed a lot of light on when you think about guys who play quarterback that are extremely muscular, ribbed, and big and strong. A lot of times you don't get that throwing motion, the fluidity, in the shoulder area that you need to be able to layer some of your throws in. And I think he took that to heart because you could tell he wasn't nearly as muscular, and he had lost some of that muscle weight, and he was really ready to show the people what he could do if the Colts offensive line hadn't let him down. Yeah, and he got smoked.
He got smoked. It was David Ajabo, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was. He got really beaming, right? Remember that hit any given Sunday when Willie beat in the rain?
He just ate it.
And the helmet popped off Jamie Foxx. I'm surprised Jamie Foxx's neck ain't broke from that scene. But anyway, that's what happened to Richardson. He comes not limping off the field, but gingerly coming off the field, holding his hand or his arm up by his side. I'm going on, not the shoulder.
Right.
So that was the concern initially. Was oh God, it's the shoulder again. Yeah, same damn thing.
Right, but this highlights an even more pressing issue with the Colts quarterback room. Now you got Daniel Jones, who's probably going to be the starter, which, I mean, does that inspire confidence in anybody? It doesn't me.
To me, I think what you're pointing out, Alex, is very relevant because they have 3 quarterbacks that play almost exactly the same. you've got Anthony Richardson, you got Daniel Jones, and then you have Riley Leonard as the third stringer, the rookie out of Notre Dame. And really, this is what Shane Steichen likes over there. He likes those running style quarterbacks. That he's looking for his Jalen Hurts, and I don't know that any of those guys are going to be Jalen Hurts.
No way. I mean, Daniel Jones will get a good clip going, but then he'll just trip on his way to the end zone.
I wish it wasn't this bad for Richardson. I think the Colts that serves you right for calling yourself out of a game.
Right.
And I think that might have been a receipt, hopefully. And that's the only one that you get. Hopefully the Colts will protect the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Well, that's welcome to the game.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Hope he's open.
Yeah, and we talked about the offensive line woes for the Colts. Let's go ahead and talk about something positive they did for that offensive line. A guy that wasn't in that game when that sack happened. They go out and sign left tackle Bernard Raymond to a 4-year, $100 million extension, $25 million per year, $60 million guaranteed.
Tough check.
Yep, good signing here. Bernard Raymond was a guy that came into the league, sort of struggled his first year, has since figured it out. He is one of the better left tackles in all of football, right? Yeah, this is a positive signing.
They needed to because Coach did lose some offensive linemen.
Yeah, Will Fries, Ryan Kelly.
They lost. So to lose two, you have to make sure that you, especially with the style of play that Coach Shane wants to do. He may end up riding off into the sunset on that horse.
I don't know that.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
If it doesn't work out.
I don't know that he's going to be there after this season.
Riding out on that colt.
Yeah.
For all you have seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't.
Shane riding off into the sunset on that colt.
Yeah, I don't see him here after this season. I think he goes back to being an offensive coordinator somewhere. I think he's set himself up for failure with what he's done with that quarterback room. They have a lot of really good players over there. Josh Downs and Michael Pittman, and they get Tyler Warren, and but here we are.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor.
The forgotten man in the offense.
Yeah, and then you're sitting here, still struggling, and you're wondering why. And it's like, well, it's because you don't have a good quarterback. And you haven't had a good quarterback since Shane Steichen has got there. They haven't had a good quarterback, but
Anthony Richardson is a good quarterback.
Yeah, he is not.
He just has not played up to his real full potential.
Is that what we're saying?
And the injuries.
I have questions about Anthony Richardson, but I digress. Another quarterback I'm having questions about right now is quarterback Matt Stafford. He's currently dealing with an aggravated disc in his back. He hasn't been practicing at camp. He could return to the practice field on Monday. His backup currently is Jimmy Garoppolo, which is kind of interesting given the circumstances because they have Devontae Adams over there who was playing with Jimmy Garoppolo in Vegas. So, and he hated it. So now he's stuck again with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Devontae Adams just can't catch a break, right? He follows Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets, and the Jets face plant. Never mind that Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon like 3 plays into the season. And then now you got the situation with Jimmy G again, which Jimmy G is not. He's a quarterback that does not inspire a great deal of confidence, but at least the guy can get the job done. He's been in various locker rooms, various teams throughout the years, most notably with the San Francisco 49ers, before the Brock Purdy experiment started, But, with Matt Stafford, getting this, having him work on his back, I'm going to stamp the bingo card. He needs Tommy John surgery for that elbow of his. So, yeah.
Let's go.
There you go. So anyway, but he's getting up there. He's been in the league for 10, 15 years.
He's pushing 36, 37 years old now, but now you've got an aggravated disc in your back, and it's like, oh no! And if you recall, several back injuries when he was in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Now he's having back injuries here. This is a situation.
He keeps getting pounded into the turf, by getting sacked. He could break his back, and then what do you do?
Yeah.
put the team on his back.
That's why
and that's probably why.
Yep.
But the fact is, forget the elbow. That we joke about. But Tommy John, no. This back thing
This is legit.
is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right? It is, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
If you're a Rams teammate, you better keep watching out. I mean, they got Stetson Bennett over there, but brother, he threw another pick in the preseason.
Yeah,
I like Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett, if you recall last year in the preseason, remember he had that 5-6 interception game.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's got a lot of questions. It was making Nate Peterman look like a Pro Bowler.
Right.
So I got questions about that. And now, but the Rams, speaking of guys putting a team on their back, there was one guy last year that put the team on his back, and that's Kyren Williams. The Rams signed him to a 3-year, $33 million extension, $11 million per year. This was a great signing. He's a high-end running back. He's a guy that showed he can handle the workload. We talked about it last show. He had over 100 more carries than he did. He went from like 230 to 300 plus. I mean,
Blake Corum on the bench.
Yeah, and Blake Corum had a nice little game last night as well. But if you look at the Kyren Williams situation and what he's currently doing, this is a smart play by the Rams, getting Kyren Williams signed to a long-term extension.
I mean, you kind of have no choice. I mean, Cooper Kupp's already left town. He's gone to Seattle. You got Puka Nacua. You got Tutu Atwell. But do you really have any other playmakers other than Kyren, other than Stafford? This is a Rams team that whose history is up in the air ever since Aaron Darnold, retired.
Well, here's the thing about the Rams, and even with Aaron Donald retiring, I think defensively they played extremely well with Jared Verse last year, who was a Rookie of the Year candidate on the show. But and Braden Fisk taking over the kingpin. But in the whole situation, last year Puka Nacua goes down. You had Cooper Kupp go down. Matt Stafford's got legitimately nobody to throw to. And you saw Kyren Williams' carry number. He started at running back at the beginning of the season. He never got hurt. He never missed time. And he went out and he was getting 30 carries a game for about 6 games straight. Yeah. And that guy was putting that team on his back and keeping them in football games and kept them alive last year. It helped them get to the playoffs. And Matt Stafford got hot after his receivers came back, and that's great. But Kyren Williams, nobody wants to talk about it, but we will here. Yeah. That guy was the reason that the Rams were still in this thing. He was the reason they made the playoffs last year. He was one of the best running backs in the game last year.
Sure was.
No lies detected.
And they can sit there. People, we've talked about, and I've made mention of it. He wasn't as efficient last year as you'd prefer, but given the circumstances with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp going out, there's not a lot of places where the ball is going to wind up going, other than in his belly and have him plow into the line. And so,
don't put it on the ground as many times as you did.
Yeah.
Right.
5 on the NFL top 100 this year.
Right. The efficiency dropped for him, but there's a reason, and there's good reason why the efficiency dropped, because you saw how his efficiency went up after Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp got back to the fold. Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to see how Kyren Williams does this year, but this is a good signing, $33 million. He was good at the goal line. He had, 12 touchdowns last year. This is a high-end running back, and they get him out of 16. Yeah. I mean, I know it was in the teens. But
12 rushing. I think it's 12 rushing and 4
on the ground, or 4 on through the air. But he's $11 million for Kyren Williams is relatively cheap. This is a very team-friendly deal for that caliber of running back. Yeah. So, I mean, the Rams sort of get away with one here. This is a nice little signing for them. I'm here for it. Another really good signing, the Vikings go out and sign Josh Metellus to a 3-year, $36 million extension, $12 million per year.
They needed to.
Yeah, he was a key cog to that defense last year for the Vikings. This is an excellent signing for them. They needed to get him signed to a deal. I don't trust Theo Johnson back there right now as the number 2 safety with Harrison Smith. Obviously everybody likes Harry the Hitman. You could talk all you want about how he's lost a step. I think that's bullshit. He's 36 years old, and he's still playing at an extremely high level. He was still a top 15 safety last year. But when you got the unproven Theo Johnson, right, and then you've got Josh Metellus, who's been used in sort of a utility role in that Brian Flores defense.
Theo Johnson out of Penn State, right?
Yep.
I like Theo, but, that's...
Yeah. I got a question.
Give it a minute.
I got questions about him as a starter. I mean,
I like the ability, but
Yeah.
let's give it a minute.
I think the Vikings are going to have to go into next year's draft and draft a safety. I mean, as much as I like Josh Metellus, he is more of a utility player, playing safety. It's like a safety linebacker hybrid,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what they're going to have to do with him. And also, the NFL has suspended the Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison for 3 games for violating the league's substance abuse policy. The suspension stems from him getting that DUI a few years ago when I believe when he was in Vegas. Or actually, I think he was in LA, but he pled guilty to the lesser charge. I don't know if this is a joke or if this is legitimate, but driving while wet is the term.
Usually that's not reserved for women.
Jeez. Well, that's a new one.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm sorry, my
Listen.
sister.
but Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games. We talked about it a little bit off the air. That's a nerve-wracking situation. You don't know who. And you better hope Justin Jefferson's ready to go for Week 1. You know, he's got this tight hamstring issue and whatever else. You better hope he's ready for Week 1, because right now it's looking like Ty Felton and Jalen Naylor are going to be the 2 guys on the field for J.J. McCarthy to start the season against a very tough Bears defense. Got a lot of questions there.
Yeah, I like what I was watching the preseason game, and I heard one of the commentators say something about when JJ was making a comment about not having Justin Jefferson in practices.
Yeah.
And JJ with a mature answer said, he kind of liked it in a way. He wanted him out there, of course.
Yeah.
Right? But he liked it in a way because, hey, what if we don't have him for a game or 2 or for a stretch of games, and I have to make the adjustment and find these other receivers, and make differences or make adjustments in the offense while he's not there. And I like that answer. So he could be a good thing.
Yeah,
but
it might help him.
Yeah, but what ain't a good thing is this hand deal. Mm-hmm. And when the broadcasters asked Justin Jefferson about it, first question they asked, "Oh, how's the hand?" Jefferson goes, "Well, it's coming along." Yeah. And we were talking about off air. I said, that sounds to me like coach speak, like it ain't where it needs to be.
Yeah, and that's the concern.
Yeah.
That's the big concern.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out where Justin Jefferson is, but ultimately he's going to be, McCarthy's going to be without Jordan Addison, which is a killer.
That's tough. Ty Felton, we like Ty Felton, right? Really good at Maryland. In fact, one of those playmaker type guys, but not a guy that you want to consistently. He's not the go-to every single play guy. Yep.
Jalen Naylor had a few good years here. The last 2 years we've seen an elevation of him in this O'Connell system. But, we still got questions about Jalen Naylor, and is he going to start, whatever else. So we're gonna find out what happens with old Jalen Naylor. But the Vikings, man, they're in trouble in that receiver room. To me, and we talked about again, why isn't Amari Cooper on this football team? I would.
That would be great.
There's a whole ton of free agents out there that we have no idea why they're signing with teams.
Yeah, because they're veterans typically, and they're like, nah, I'll show up.
Yeah, but you see Keenan Allen get signed to 8.5.
Yeah. And
if I'm Amari Cooper and I see Keenan Allen get signed for 8.5, and I'm getting up, take the 8.5. To go play for a team right now that is likely let's face it, right now, even though we don't, believe in J.J. McCarthy and we're not sure what we're going to get out of him, whatever the case may be, technically speaking, you've got a rookie quarterback on a rookie scale deal, and this is where the window opens. Yeah. And this is where you want the window to be open, and we got questions. So if you need a receiver, go get a guy like Amari Cooper. I would take him in a heartbeat, because Amari Cooper was a stud with Cleveland, and you could get him for 8.5, maybe 10. And just to have him imagine having that, going down the stretch, J.J. McCarthy, Jordan Addison, and then having Amari Cooper, who's a 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense.
Cooper's been really good for many years, many teams. And every time he leaves somewhere, I'm like, why didn't they just keep this guy?
Yeah, right. He's very Brandon Cooks.
Right, yeah. Dallas, friggin' Cleveland, the Raiders. Who else was he with? The Bills last year. So I'm like, how come what is wrong with these teams that they don't just keep this guy?
Yeah, I would take Amari Cooper in a heartbeat, but I digress. We'll see how that works out. Speaking of players getting in trouble, Texan safety Jimmy Ward, he gets arrested for his second time in 2 months. He was originally arrested for allegedly committing third-degree felony assault against his son's mother. The latest arrest is due to the violation of his $30,000 bond by drinking while he was out on bond. So he violates his bond.
Come on,
now
man.
he gets arrested again.
How hard is it to not? I tell you what, I got a solution.
Yep.
How about you drink at home?
Yeah. Sit at home.
Crack your brew at the crib and drink there.
Well, apparently he wasn't supposed to be drinking at all.
And what happened?
I don't know if it was the tether saw it or whatever the case was. He wasn't supposed to be drinking at all. He got arrested overnight, whatever the case, because it was a violation of his bond.
Well, where was he?
That's a good question. I'm not sure about that, but what I know is
according to the Associated Press article, it came out of Conroe, Texas. So
read it to us, Alex. What we got?
All right. So Houston, Texas, he said arrested Thursday on a felony warrant. According to the Montgomery County jail records, it's unclear if the second arrest was related to the first. He was arrested, as we know, he was arrested June 12th at his home in Magnolia, Texas, for allegedly assaulting and threatening a woman. He's been on the PUP list and has not taken part in any training camps. He agreed to a 1-year extension throughout this season, and so again, it's just you big dummy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Shouldn't be drinking when you're out on the bond anyway. It's a violation of the Texas state law. So he was drinking.
But that's what's so unclear. Whether he was at home or
was he out and about?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume he was out and about.
You have to. At this point, you kind of have to. But damn.
Yeah.
My bro.
It's just a crazy situation. Another guy that got in trouble, but he got out of it. The Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman. He was arrested for charges of possessing illegal assault weapons. He was released after the LA County District Attorney declined to press charges, as the assault weapon ban that was instituted in the state of California was declared unconstitutional in October of 2023. He was released 3 days later from the jail there. So Denzel Perryman, 3 days. It was just a little bit of a scare, but well, yeah. Well, it was a big one, I guess. He had several assault weapons, I guess, but they
including 2 assault-style rifles.
Yes.
Wasn't he going to a gun range or something?
That makes the most sense. I mean, still, what are you doing with that kind of hardware in your vehicle?
Yeah, the thing is it was the assault weapon ban in California it was deemed unconstitutional October of 23. So, he got arrested basically for no reason. there was no viable reason for it at all. So
that's even more reason for your lawyer to get your ass out in under 3 days.
Yeah, I think Denzel Perryman is he's gonna have quite the lawsuit against the LA County, I think. Yeah. But maybe that's just my opinion.
Did you like the food there, and that's why you stuck around?
I'll just sit here for a while. It's like a vacation. I whatever, like free hotel stay or something, free food and lodging. But
at least there's no roaches.
Yeah, I guess.
2 out of 5 stars. I mean, they could fluff the pillows around here, and the mattresses are non-existent. But, jeez.
Something. Maybe the commissary was good. Who knows? Hey, free shower shoes. Yeah. Speaking of other, unbelievable. No, you got to buy them. You got to buy commissary. But speaking of that, the AFC West here, we've got other stuff going on around the division. First of all, the Raiders signed a left tackle, Colton Miller, to a 3-year, $66 million extension. That's a good signing. Colton Miller, a guy that came into the league originally and struggled, if you remember, big time. Since then, he's become one of the better left tackles in all of football. He's actually been playing really well. 3 years, $66 million.
$1 million better, though? I don't know.
I got quite well, and one thing that you got to question about Colton Miller is where he's been playing. He played in. I mean, think about who he's been playing for. He's been playing for the Raiders. This is the first time. I mean, even though he's an old ass retread coach, Pete Carroll is the first competent coach he's had in his entire time with the Raiders organization. I mean, they haven't had a good head coach in years. So for him to get this extension, for Pete Carroll to want him to get this extension, this kind of says a lot.
Yeah, cares who the coach is if you're giving up sacks.
Yeah.
And you're not moving the ball. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Hey, you're worth what somebody's willing to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, if Pete Carroll likes him as a head coach enough to say, hey, sign this guy, you know, you would assume that this would be the signing that they're going to make. You know, they're listening to their head coach, I would think.
I don't know. I feel like the Raiders almost make the right move at the wrong time, and then they make the wrong move at the right time.
Right.
And they're never in the right place at the right time, and end up losing.
Yeah.
In the end, and I think that they have done a disservice to, they being the Raiders, have done a disservice to Ashton Genty, their first round draft pick running back.
He struggled that first preseason game.
Man, and he's not going to be bouncing off. Talking to my dad about it. He's not going to be bouncing off the tackles in the NFL, bro.
Yeah.
And this offensive line of the Raiders has not been that good in the past 3-4 seasons.
Yeah.
And for you to invest that much into a first-round draft pick running back, you needed to insulate him with some offensive line talent to where you can really push some people around.
And that was something that they didn't do this offseason.
All.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A lot of questions about that. Elsewhere around the division, a guy we talked about last episode. We talked about him in the I think it was last episode. They talked about him being a part of the NFL Top 100. Zach Allen, the Broncos go ahead and get him signed.
Yeah, boy.
A 4-year, $102 million extension, $25.5 million per year, $69.5 guaranteed.
Dang.
So Zach Allen gets paid. We talked about him as an NFL Top 100 player. Well, there you go.
Number 90, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, number 90.
Yeah, he was up there. So I mean, that's good to see. We were just singing his praises on our previous episode.
Yeah. Relentless was the word that was used earlier.
Yeah.
Joe Alt says he's got good hands. Well, now you might be seeing this dude a whole lot more, right? For the next few. So playing left tackle, Joe Alt, you better be ready.
Yeah.
And he's always being double teamed. Josh
always.
Zach Allen.
Yep. So he winds up getting himself a big monster contract. Another guy getting a big monster contract. The Dolphins signed defensive tackle Zach Seiler to a 3-year, $64 million extension. He was the 11th best interior defensive lineman in the league last year. He had a 78.6 PFF grade, double-digit sacks. Right. Yep. Double-digit sacks in each of the last 2 seasons.
Very underrated.
Yes.
We talk about, especially me, talk about the Dolphins' offensive and defensive line not being a strength and them not actually putting stock into it. Well,
they did.
Yeah, they did on this one. That's good.
And he fits in pretty nicely there. They lose Christian Wilkins, but they have Zach Seiler, who's been playing good ball for them in the last 2 seasons, double-digit sacks.
Yeah. Speaking of we just talked about the Raiders, right? We just talked about the Dolphins. Yep. Now you said Christian
Wilkins. We talked about him last show.
He was with what happened with him in the Raiders?
So him and the Raiders, how it worked out is he went out and I guess from several reports have said that Christian Wilkins kissed an opponent a teammate on the head at one point.
Because that's what it was. I came in later on the show. So I must have missed
and
this.
So he kissed an opponent, or his teammate rather, in practice on the head. The teammate went to HR and complained, so they got rid of him. But then Christian Wilkins has been injured for a while, so he was going to start the season on the PUP list. Okay. So now the team is trying to void his guarantees because they say that he didn't rehab his foot correctly. So he actually filed a grievance with the NFLPA over it. It kind of sounds to me like the Raiders just didn't want to pay him because they were pissed at him because of an HR issue. And are trying to get away with saving the money, but I digress. That's my opinion on it.
And besides, to kind of back that opinion up a little bit, have you seen this guy, when he was with Clemson, when he was with the Dolphins? He is a personality.
Oh, yeah.
Very, I'll go ahead and say eccentric. It's definitely not like he's, effeminate. He's not gay or anything. But he's very colorful. He's very eccentric. He's very animated. So
not that there's anything wrong with being gay, folks.
Yes. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Clear.
But the point is, you kind of understand. You're signing this guy for his ability and his talent. That's the number one thing you're signing for. But just take a step back and go, well, if we take a look at some tape, he has a lot of fun out there, and it's just another one of those. Like, yes, I understand if you're getting kissed on the head and it's unwanted, I see that part of it. But on the other side, we're all thinking, don't you guys know like what this guy does?
Yeah,
you could ask both those questions.
Yeah, I've listened to several podcasts that actually have addressed this issue, and it was on Purple Daily. They had the offensive line, podcast there with former offensive linemen from the Vikings and whatnot. They were talking about this, and they said, look, there's some dudes where you can mess with them like that, and there's other two dudes where they're like, don't fuck with me like that. I don't like that.
And that's what I was just about to say. When Wilkins kissed my man on the forehead, wouldn't Buddy just say, hey, dog?
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I understand you just ha 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 he, but ha ha hell.
Don't do that shit.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Right? Now the second time it happens, okay, well now because I don't want to get into any kind of physical altercation and be responsible for, any kind of criminal, I'm just going to head to the office here and talk to them. I could see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just gonna let him do it and then just, go right to HR, damn dog, checking first.
Yeah.
Hey, don't do that. That's not. I ain't with that.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It was Boone. God, I forget his first name. Former offensive lineman for the Vikings, Boone. They call him Boone. Yeah, I think so. Okay. But yeah, they call him Booney on there. But he shows up on Purple Daily. If you ever listen to that show, if you're a Vikings fan listening to this show, check out Purple Daily. It's a great show. But yeah, they were talking about the Boone there, and he said, yeah, there's some guys you can fuck with, and other guys you can't. That is one of those situations where you can't fuck with them. So you just mess with the wrong guy. So Wilkins, he's out there. He's a free agent right now.
So now, so the Raiders doing the right thing at the wrong time, wrong thing at the right time.
Yep. So similar situation. Speaking of teams doing the wrong thing, let's talk about the Commanders and the Cowboys. First of all, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin has officially requested a trade from the team.
So no!
This is very, very Brandon Ayuk, isn't it?
Very.
I feel like this is deja vu all over again. We're looking over and we're seeing, it's like the Matrix. The Matrix when they see the black cat walk by, you're like, this is what.
That's a glitch in the system.
Yeah, this is, and I hate it when they're sitting out of camp. McLaurin's been a hold-in at this point, so he's showing up to camp, but he's holding in, so he's still getting paid. He's not getting fined. Each one of those days that he missed, I think he was getting fined $50,000 a day. So he decides to show up to camp. He's holding in just like Ayuk was. He wants to get traded here because they're not paying him. He says he wants over $33 million a year, which is, he wants more than Deebo Samuel's getting paid right now. This is wild.
And he's 100% right, 100% correct in doing this because here's the thing. Terry McLaurin has produced
with
numbers.
Yeah, with bad quarterbacks.
Numbers.
Yep.
With who at quarterback?
It's like Taylor Heineke.
Like I said, who at quarterback?
Sam Howell.
Who at quarterback?
I'm just trying to go down the list of all the bad quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah, but the average Joe fan isn't going to remember that.
Right. The dirty clothes of Carson Wentz. What Carson Wentz there too?
Yep. Carson Wentz for a minute.
Right. He's produced, put numbers up, and he's not asking for Jets money.
No.
He ain't asking for Jamar Chase money. He's not asking for these big time deals. He wants something just underneath to let me know you appreciate what I've been doing.
Yeah.
To let me know that, hey, I deserve this, and I completely agree that he deserves this. And the Washington Commanders don't end up doing something stupid. Don't end up like the Raiders. Don't end up like these other teams who just who allow these things to fester.
Yeah.
Right?
And cause a problem.
And next thing you know, you out of the playoff race because so don't be the Bengals.
Yep. Don't play the teams.
Don't be the 49ers.
This guy has got it. Know what he can do. Know what he's provided. Know what he can provide. Even with a rookie, Jay Daniels, as dope as Jay Daniels was last year, still a rookie, and Terry McLaurin did it again.
Yep.
Like, bro, okay. F around and find out.
Yeah, and speaking of F around and find out and letting things fester, the Dallas Cowboys' Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade from the team as well. So he wants out. He says, I do not want to be here any longer. He flat out made a statement saying he does not want to be there.
Thanks a lot, Jerry.
Yeah, and you know what? Wherever, and Jerry keeps saying, well, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. Your best defensive player wants out. He's let's face it, this guy's the second coming of Lawrence Taylor, okay? And you're going to sit here and dick around with him and just let him walk out the door. I don't understand what the hell Jerry Jones is doing. It makes no goddamn sense. None.
This team won't win with Micah Parsons.
Oh, I know.
So you might as well get something.
Yeah, get something. Trade him. Trade him. You'll get 2 first-rounders for that guy. Easy.
Well, if Jerry Jones and company are smart enough to make a deal like that.
Well, this is the thing. Micah Parsons, immediate playmaker. And there's teams out there that could use a playmaker of that caliber on their team. Could you imagine
Detroit.
Bears, right? Could you imagine him going to the Detroit Lions? Right? Could you imagine him going to the Minnesota Vikings? Could you imagine him going to the Seattle Seahawks right now? I mean, what if he goes to Baltimore? I mean, what if he goes to Buffalo? I mean, there's opportunities here. What if he goes to Kansas City? I mean,
oh boy,
Kansas City with Chris Jones over there. I mean, and the recently signed George Karlaftis. I mean, we have there's options. Yeah. And if the Cowboys are smart, they're going to go, give me 2 first-rounders and just call it a day.
I mean, Jacksonville just did what they did during the draft, move up to get Travis Hunter, didn't they?
Make the move.
And let Cleveland collect all those picks. Next thing you know, Cleveland's sitting pretty in the draft.
They're loaded.
Right?
They're loaded for
ready to go.
Yeah.
And the New York Giants, they did the same thing. They gave up 2 third-round picks, or I believe they gave up a couple of picks to Houston. They did a deal with Houston. Houston was able to get Jaden Higgins, C-team stand up, right? And another draft pick, but the Giants ended up with Jackson Dart.
Yep.
So good luck to you. But the fact is,
jeez, I will still never forget the moment that they drafted Jackson Dart and Shadur Sanders was on the board. They were staring right at him, and they just let him go.
And a lot of it had to do with the interview I mean, and I guess it was a really bad interview between Shador and Brian Dable in particular. But this situation, this is what it is here. The Cowboys are about to lose, and right now they're paying him to not even be on the field. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
he don't want to be there. If you don't want to be here, get out.
Exactly.
I'll take the first-round picks. Yeah, I'll go into next year's draft, and we will rebuild this football team.
And that's what they're going to have to do anyway.
Yep. The Cowboys, they're already in a rebuild. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're winning a Super Bowl at any time. Hell, So not with Dak Prescott at quarterback. I mean, there's issues there, and they're
not with the coach that they have.
And not with their current salary cap situation.
Brother, this is a Jerry Jones vanity project at this point.
That's turned into a tank job.
Thank you.
Yep. I mean, it's bad. Speaking of the Cowboys, the one good move that they did make, they go out and sign tight end Jake Turd Ferguson to a 4-year, $52 million extension. $13 million per year, includes $30 million guaranteed. I call him Turd Ferguson. I just love it. Come on, you love it. But Turd Ferguson gets signed to that big deal. $13 million per year. That's actually come on. You like that? Come on, you've never seen that? On Celebrity Jeopardy? Come on, Norm Macdonald, baby. Yeah. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. Turd Ferguson is a funny name. But no, $52 million a year. This is a good signing. $13 million per year, $30 million guaranteed. Yeah. Jake Ferguson's been a good tight end for them for a while.
Absolutely. One of the better ones in the league. Underappreciated, under-heralded.
And this is a team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
Very team-friendly. On $13 million for him, that's very team-friendly. Also, the Cowboys, they have running back Jaden Blue earning first-team reps at camp right now. Yo. What did I say? I said Jaden Blue was going to be a stud, and here we are. Jaden Blue getting 13 reps right off the rip. That people question his work ethic. He's proving everybody wrong right now. I love Jaden Blue.
I know you do. I never said he wouldn't take the first team rep. I'm just saying that so as long as Devontae Williams is back to being Devontae Williams before he was injured, he'd be he would have to work for that. But maybe Javonte isn't where he needs to be in the 2 years removed from the horrific knee injury that he suffered.
Yeah,
Maybe it's one of those deals, or Jay Boo maybe just outwork him and is getting that run.
I just don't know that Javonte Williams is ever going to wind up being the guy we thought the guy he was for that half a season that we saw, and we went, "Ooh, look at him!"
Yeah,
and
that's who he is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just don't know that he's ever going to get back to that. And
that's the question.
Yeah, so we're sitting here, we're wondering what's going to happen with Javonte. But Jaden Blue is getting first team reps right now with the Cowboys. You got to love that. One guy that's for sure going to get his first team reps is wide receiver Cortland Sutton, especially when he gets signed to a 4-year, $92 million extension with the Broncos. This was lingering for a while. We didn't know if Cortland Sutton, he's one of the older receivers in football, one of the older number one receivers. We weren't sure if he was going to get signed to an extension this year.
That old, 26?
He's 29.
No.
He's pushing 30.
No. Cortland, he's only been in the league a handful of years.
A handful?
Yeah, he can't be more older than 26. I would cap it at 27.
I don't think he's that.
Let's talk.
I'm going to find it.
Look it up.
All right. ESPN has him listed at 29 years old. He will turn 30 on October 10th of this year.
You know what? He did miss he was injured, and he missed pretty much one of his earliest seasons.
Yeah. I knew he was pushing the 29 years old, but this should be kind of the price point.
He doesn't play like he's 29.
No,
he doesn't play like an old.
No, plays really well. He's very consistent. The thing about Cortland Sutton, this should be the price point where Terry McLaurin's looking, given the age, given the production. This should be about the price point that he's looking. They have very similar production to Cortland Sutton and Terry McLaurin. Yeah. And 4 years, $92 million. That's not a bad contract here. I mean, it's and they're both the same age.
Right. What's McLaurin looking for?
He's looking for 33, and this would put him at 23. This should actually be about the price point. Really, to me, what Terry McLaurin should be getting, in my honest opinion, I think he should be getting a Brandon Ayuk deal. I think it should be like a 3-year, $28 million deal. I think that's 1,000% fair for a guy who's 29 years old, getting ready to enter his age 30 season, and that's about where you're at.
No. Not like that. Not when you produce what you produce. Have not missed time. Have not been in trouble off the field, and you can be pointed as one of the key cornerstone members of the team and the offense.
But can Cortland Sutton not be pointed to as that when it comes to the Denver Broncos?
I mean, yeah, but if I'm Terry McLaurin, I'm not about to take less than.
He got $23 million a year.
Who got $23 million a year?
Yeah, Cortland 23. So if you get 28 out of that deal, on a Brandon Ayuk deal, you're both 29 years old. You both have comparable numbers.
I need compensation for what I've done and for what I can still do. So yeah, I'm going for more than Cortland Sutton, less than Justin Jefferson, but I'm going maybe a little more than Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying 28 makes a lot of sense for Terry McLaurin. That's a Brandon Ayuk deal, as I call it. Ayuk got that deal last year, $28 million. I could even see 29 or 30, but 33 to 35, I think we're getting a little too high there because of the age. And I think that's the big problem. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's the age. Yeah.
And there's something else to consider as well. NFL.com article by Kevin Patra suggests that Cortland Sutton suggested he left money on the table with the new extension to keep the roster together. Going into detail, he said he didn't push for more money in his new contract extension to ensure the club could keep the roster together long term, and that other contracts that the Broncos are looking to get done in the near future, 1,000%, according to Cortland, played a role in him taking slightly less money. So you're talking about a team player here.
Wants to win.
I'm not taking less money for you to screw me over.
Wants to win.
You gonna cut me when you want to.
Yeah,
you gonna injury reserve me, waive me when you want to. I'm not taking less money. No, I'm not.
Wants to win. I guess I understand the mentality. We saw Tom Brady do it for years.
See, but that's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? But look at the endorsements. Right?
Tom Brady gets,
other things.
Plus he was with Giselle at the time.
You know what I mean? There's other things. There's other factors at play.
Yeah.
Right? So if I don't have a sponsorship deal that's going to pay me $5-10 million a year or whatever. Well, no, I'm gonna get that from this team from my actual job.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm with you there. So moving into another signing, the Bengals go out and sign tight end Noah Fant to a 1-year deal. Noah Fant recently released by the Seahawks. He goes over, gets signed by the Bengals. This is a nice little 1-2 punch that the Bengals are going to have. They got Noah Fant and Mike Gesicki over there now at the tight end position. Kind of like that. I kind of like that signing. Noah Fant's a good tight end that's been underutilized his entire career.
That's true. He's got some ability to block, can still catch.
Big on the underneath stuff.
Yeah, and I think Gesicki, this helps Gesicki a lot. Because Gesicki, I love to say this, he ain't blocking nobody except on Twitter. So, get somebody who's more willing to block and can handle those types of things, and you can still throw it to him.
Yep, one guy that wasn't willing to block is the guy they cut. The Bengals go out and cut running back Zach Moss, so he'll be gone now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm not a big Zach Moss guy.
I wasn't a big Zach Moss guy either, but he served his purpose well when he was in Buffalo for that time. Served his purpose well when he was in Indianapolis, right, for that stretch because Jonathan Taylor was injured. So Zach Moss is kind of your prototypical, 3 yards in a cloud of dust guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I was never a big Zach Moss guy. Everybody sort of saw that Chase Brown was going to be the guy, and everybody kind of noticed that. And Zach Moss, 65.5 pass blocking, 60.4 and 23. Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on those pass blocking numbers from him.
Zach Moss is a guy that you want on your team because he's reliable, he's dependable. And if you need, 3-4 yards on the goal line type of situation, hey, you can get that.
If you need 3 yards, I'll give you 3 yards. If you need 5 yards, I'll give you 3 yards.
Right?
That's it.
There it is.
Leroy Horde. Yep. Yeah. Leroy Horde. Another signing going on. The 49ers go out and sign, get this, the artist formerly known as Robbie Anderson, now known as Robbie Chosen, to a 1-year deal. So they go out and get the wide receiver room. Look,
you said it last show. This receiver room for the 49ers is real thin.
It's a disaster.
They've got Tariq. I hope they still have Tariq Owens. I don't know Terrell Owens. But man,
it's a mess.
It's a little shaky. Juwan Jennings, he wants a new deal, and he's dealing with some.
He's holding out a little bit,
right? Ricky Pearsall just coming off a little new deal a couple weeks ago.
Yep, and you don't know what's going to happen with Ricky Pearsall at this point. So he got shot last year, and then, this time and whatever else. And it's good.
So that in itself was a miracle. Gets shot in the chest, then comes back and he plays in the NFL. So I'm like, okay, he lucked out there, but seriously, it's run CMC, Brandon Ayuk, and everybody else.
And Brandon Ayuk, you don't even know if he's going to be in for the first few games.
That's true.
In week 7,
right? So
Debo skipped town. You had to pay Brock Purdy, and then Christian McCaffrey. He might be on his last legs too. He's got that Achilles tendonitis going on.
And now you look at what they have behind him. You've got Isaac Dorendo, who is also currently hurt now. So he's hurt. So that leaves Jordan James over there as the guy.
Yeah, because Jordan Mason went to the Vikings.
Hold on, Jordan James just had an issue with a finger or a hand or something where he was dealing with
Jordan Mason skips town. He goes to Minnesota, which, I wouldn't have let him go at all. I wouldn't have traded him over there. Yeah. So, it's a wild situation for the 49ers. They've got an injury-prone running back room right now. You've got hardly any offensive line. You don't know what's going on with Trent Williams. You have George Kittle, who's probably, your
best player.
And then you look at your receiver room and you're like, where is everybody?
Who are these people?
We talk about the Cleveland Browns and how their quarterback room is like an island of misfit toys. Well, if you want to see the same thing, you just kind of glance over at the 49ers receiver room and it's like, whoa, man.
Who are these people, right?
Where's Amari Cooper in this situation?
There you go. First episode of Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
It's insane. It's just crazy.
That episode.
Also, we had the Steelers. They released the wide receiver / kick returner, the special team specialist, if you will, Cordero Patterson.
Very weird.
Gets released, 34 years old. They send him out the door randomly.
Weird.
Didn't he used to play for Atlanta?
He sure
Yep,
did.
he was a Viking.
Yeah.
He was Atlanta Falcon.
And who was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta when Cordell Patterson was playing for them? Arthur Smith.
Right? So this is why I'm wondering why did he must have lost the step.
Yeah.
Because Arthur Smith, there's one thing that we know about Arthur Smith, he's loyal to his guy. Right? And he will utilize you if you got it and if you can help produce within the offense. So something must not be right with Cordero for Arthur Smith to let him,
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder who their kick returner is. They've got to probably have somebody better at this point. I mean,
Right.
if you're going to let a guy like Cordero Patterson go, who has been a lifetime kick returner in this league and has been around this league for a long time.
Some running, did really good work with running back spot.
Yep.
I'm thinking Calvin Austin III.
Yeah, it might be Calvin Austin, but are you really going to take your number 2 receiver, the guy who is the heir apparent to that position, and then put him? A lot of questions.
I'm thinking they may put Roman Wilson in that role.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
That might be. I mean, Roman Wilson could be the kick returner. You just don't know it, but he's not a super speedster either, is Roman Wilson. So you got.
He's the middle of the field,
Yeah.
work the slant, work the intermediate route.
He reads like a tight end almost, So there's some questions here about who in the hell is going to return kicks. Yeah, it's a lot. So we'll find out about that. Also, the Eagles make a trade. They trade defensive tackle Thomas Booker to the Raiders for corner Jacorian Bennett. Booker is Booker is a former 2022 fifth-round pick from the Houston Texans. He was waived by the team in August of 23 and got picked up by the Eagles. Jacorian Bennett is a former fourth-round selection from the Raiders in the 2023 draft. So they it's depth. It's a depth move. I like Booker better than I like Bennett, but I digress. I think this is kind of interesting.
Very. If you're the, they once again the Eagles, they do the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
Right. And now they've solidified fortified with their secondary because you got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper Jean over there.
They just lost Isaiah Rodgers, so
Right.
you got to go and get
Chauncey
Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson lost him. They let him go. But, after he won that Super Bowl, so, good on him getting the ring.
And now he's hurt again.
He is.
Yeah, he's hurt.
He is. But now they've, fortified that secondary. So good on the Eagles.
Yeah, they get away with one here. They send
They're rapidly becoming one of the better drafting teams. Again, a team that I trust with the draft.
Yep, and with their personnel moves in general. I mean, Howie Roseman is, it's something.
Man.
It's something.
I like it.
And then last but not least, the Seahawks signed general manager John Schneider to a contract extension through 2031. So he's going to be around. That's a 6-year contract extension for John Schneider over there with the Seattle Seahawks.
And what have you seen? All right, you know what? Okay.
Nothing recently.
Okay.
I mean, we've long said, I was going to say this when Noah Fant got traded to the Bengals. I mean, historically, tell me if I'm wrong, Seattle is where tight ends go to die. Jimmy Graham, anybody? So, another good reason why, if Noah Fant goes to the Bengals and, has that dual threat with him and Mike Gesicki, I'd like to see what happens there because then it's proof positive that, Seattle is not a tight end area, So, again, I mean, if this guy's your guy for the next 6 years, I mean, go ahead. I mean, you did draft Geno Smith, I don't know. Like, you did get Russ Wilson too, but I mean, but was he around when Russ Wilson was drafted?
No,
I mean, no, probably not. So I think the point is made. We haven't really seen anything. We haven't seen anything of note since this guy came in.
Yeah, Geno Smith, if you recall, he got drafted and fell to the second round to the New York Jets in the second round of the draft when he went. Jets drop him. Seattle goes and gets him, and they kind of revamp his career over there in Seattle under Pete Carroll, which was
the Giants, right?
No, at the Seahawks.
Geno
Smith, Geno Smith. He was with the Jets with the Jets. Got drafted late second or early second round with the Jets. Stunk with the Jets. Jets drop him. Gets picked up over there with Seattle. Has a career resurgence for about 3-4 years there, mostly under Pete Carroll, and then now here we are, wondering what's going on with old Geno Smith. So he's with the Raiders now, back with Pete Carroll. So we'll see how that works out. But Seattle, look at some of their personnel moves, and there's a lot of questions there. They made the move for some certain players that are good. I mean, if this Sam Darnold thing works out, then he looks like a genius. If it doesn't work out, then it was all Kevin O'Connell and that he got fooled. We're going to find out what happens with the Seattle Seahawks. I haven't seen much to make it seem worthwhile.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Now, Boots, we got bold predictions that we got to do here. I'm going to jump into these bold predictions for
Big
you.
bold predictions, because I'm sorry, people have to pull back the curtain. Pull back the curtain a little bit. I got to pull back the curtain. I won't be on for the entirety of the show this week.
Yep.
So here are my 5 bold predictions, and the fellas will probably do the next installment of the top 100 without me. But I will be back to lay down some law on those 10 guys too.
And for the record, I hate the next 10 guys on that list.
You do?
I really do. I hate a majority of them. I hate where they're ranked. I think it's obnoxious.
Yeah, number 79 makes me scratch my head. Spoiler alert, but go look them up. But yeah,
I'll have to, and then I'll come back next show and really talk about what I liked about them, what I did.
Yeah.
But I won't take too much time. But the 5 bold predictions coming up. Here we go. Number 5, the San Francisco quarterback, Brock Purdy, will lead the NFC West in passing attempts, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and passer rating during the 2025-26 regular season.
Passing attempts, passing yards, passing touchdowns.
Whoop, whoop.
And what else?
passer rating.
Wow. He will be, simply put, the best quarterback in the NFC West.
Wow. Ballsy.
I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, who's he going to throw it to? Is he basically just going to be leaning on George Kittle the whole time?
Right. That's why we talk about. That's why they bold, baby.
Yeah, that's bold.
Mm-hmm. Very bold.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but
no, it's not impossible. But if he, as long as he's healthy, the one I could see doing it is Stafford. But
see, and that's what we're thinking about. We're talking about Stafford with the backfield, right?
And then
looking at
or Kyler Murray maybe.
Right.
It depends on what he does.
Right. Sam Darnold, the whole thing with him. Could we see Jalen Milroe at some point during the season?
Oh boy.
So that situation's up in the air. The only one that you could really have to really worry about, Kyler.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's why they're bold. Yeah. Number 4 in the bold predictions category, the Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders will start 8 games at least and will win at least 5 of those.
Wow. That's a good one.
I would.
Happening. Shedeur has looked good in the preseason. Had himself a nice little showing there. It is preseason, but Shedeur has looked the best out of all the Browns quarterbacks right now. I mean, in practice and on the preseason.
I mean, I have 2 reservations about that. Number 1, it's preseason. Number 2, it's the Cleveland Browns. I mean, Shedeur Sanders has the ability to polish a turd. I'll go ahead and say that. And I've always been of the school of I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, it seems promising. His performance against the Panthers is very promising. I want to see more. Give me more and show me something during the regular season.
Well, you talk about polishing a turd. That's why they call him Brown.
Brown. Yep.
I love it. I love it. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, preseason doesn't matter. It's meaningless football. There's a guy, fantastic radio personality, Mike Valenti here locally, 97.1 to take a shout out. He said that doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. And I respect his opinion a ton,
Yeah.
right? We all do. But here's the thing. It's meaningful for me and for us, if I can speak for y'all, because I want to watch his footwork, right? I want to see where he's laying these passes. Is it on the receiver's upfield shoulder? Is it on his downfield shoulder? Is it on the running back's back hip where he's got to turn and then get smoked by a DB like Hendon Hooker laid Craig Reynolds out the other day, right? Or is it on his upfield hip to where the receiver or the running back in this particular instance can catch the ball on the move and avoid that hit?
Yeah, and we've been through, like we watch a lot of tape on players. We go out. I mean, hell, we went to the NFL Combine this year and watched guys at the Combine. We break down these things, and view things a little differently because we know, we're not I wouldn't say we're your average fans here.
Exactly.
I think we view things a little bit more analytically, and we actually see a lot of the mechanics of the throwing the ball and how their footwork and how they're moving. Hey, you missed this guy. You threw the ball behind him. Why'd you do that? And stuff like that.
We're looking at that stuff. I like to call what we call in the restaurant business, we're smart marks.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, we see a lot of stuff that your average fan would not see and your average person would not see, and that's what we see in the preseason. And like,
but it's also what we look for.
Yeah, and we look for when the opening game, the opening game, Lions and Chargers. We took a look over and we were looking at scheme stuff, and we saw there are certain scheme things when it comes to Detroit that are just not going to work. Even with the personnel they have, you're like, why are you doing that? And they were struggling. So I mean, like, I picked up on the fact that there's second and third and whatever stringers out there. There were very few starters in that game, but that scheme was looking.
Right, but there's things that you have to look for in order to see. Okay, don't put your body in this type of position.
Yeah,
because, don't throw it across your body. He was doing that in college. Is he doing that in the NFL now? In the preseason, quote unquote, meaningless game, still throwing across his body, laid over the middle. Well, it's going to get picked just like it did in this meaningless preseason game.
Yep, exactly.
So that type of thing.
So it does matter. If you're watching preseason games, the shit matters.
It does.
People say it doesn't, but it's meaningless football. It doesn't count against your record. No, it matters.
It matters because they're structural things. They're scheme things. They're player tendencies.
Yeah.
That tend to
Coaching tendencies.
Coaching, exactly. Number 3 on this list of 5 bowl predictions, and it should be number 1. You know what? I'll change my mind. It's going to be number 1. Number 3 on this bowl predictions list, the Miami Dolphins will give up at least 25 sacks.
Wow.
During the 2025-26 regular.
I could see that happening.
Yep.
I definitely see that happening. Minimum. Yeah. I think that's a minimum number.
Why don't we make this spicy? By what week do they hit that 25th sack mark?
Let's go with.
I think that's bold. I think it's bold, but I could see it happening. That's the thing. Miami's offensive line hasn't been good. They've gotten rid of parts on that offensive line. You got guys that have been hurt on that offensive line. There's trouble there. And then Tua Tagovailoa, this is why he hasn't been healthy. He's just gotten the hell beat out of him nonstop. They haven't done anything to address the issue. You let your best offensive lineman walk out the door. Yeah. It's pretty problematic. I'm with you there.
Yeah, it's bad news, Dolphins, the whole way around.
Speaking of bad news, number 2 bold prediction. The New Orleans quarterbacks, both Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler, will start 5 games.
Wow. That leaves Jake Haener,
who will not start. Not one game.
Well, if these guys are going to start 5 games each, someone else has to.
I think it's going to be a competition. I think Tyler Shuck is not going to show a whole lot.
I don't think so either.
He's going to have some up and down play. I think they're going to play hot potato with the starting quarterback position. And if anybody misses it for any reason, right? I'm not calling for injuries here. I'm just saying for any reason, both quarterbacks will start 5 games each.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, is that like both will start a minimum of 5 games each? Minimum. Okay, because I want to make sure we're drawing the line there.
Minimum 5 games.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, then that way you can see. That way you're not going to see Jake Haener. Thank God.
I love Jake Haener.
Well, and the rumor is that he's still in the quarterback starting discussion right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow. Again, this is it's really something when you're still considering a guy like Jake Haener to be your starting quarterback. You know, for at least in a situation. I mean, this is truly Aints territory. We've been saying it all offseason.
It's the Aints, baby. Welcome back to the Aints.
And I'll put a caveat on this thing. If they don't, man, the Saints are going to be drafting Archman.
Oh yeah, you watch that happen.
I'm just saying. All right, and number 1 on this list, the 5 bowl prediction: the Kansas City Chiefs will win more games during the 2025-26 regular season than the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New Orleans Saints combined.
Yeah, I could see this happening. See the Giants and the Saints right now, they're probably going to be the worst 2 teams in football. I could really see that. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the Cowboys situation. I think the Cowboys are going to be, if there's any team that could put a damper on it, it could be the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. You know, but
so we got to go forward, baby.
Yeah, and even then, I'm looking going, I don't know if the Cowboys could do that. Right. You know, I mean, if the moment that goes down,
the season's over.
And I don't even know that the season's over because we still don't know when we have a Joe Milton. Right. You know, and that's going to be, I mean, did Joe Milton steal that job? You know, we're going to see about that. That's it. But
you got the Mike Parsons situation going on.
Yeah.
Just out on the show early, Tyler Geis going down.
4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
You know,
so a lot of moving parts and a lot of Jerry Jones and a lot of unhappiness and a lot of unrest. And Dak's got to pull it all together.
Yep.
And I really like Dak as a person and as a player. I do. But there's a certain level to him and to his play that he has not crossed that threshold to that the upper echelon.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little problematic here. Yeah. So, and the Bootleg Bettor, you gotta skedaddle out of here.
I'm sorry, my brethren, my sister, and our Blitz babies. I have to leave.
He's got an appointment.
Leave you without.
He's got an appointment, my friend.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let Boots scoot out of the way here because I know
we love you and we thank you, and I'll see y'all later.
Yep, he'll be Boots will be back. Thank you for joining us, Boots. We will see you on the next episode here, and that next episode is going to be right before our fantasy football draft, which is going to be a hell of a time as well.
Yeah,
he's used to burning corners. He won't get past today. I'm a menace, Mr. Wilson. So now he's a castaway.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a pull.
I love that. I love that bar. That bar is straight fire.
The Bootleg Bettor getting out of here. We will see you next time, my friend. Enjoy your day. And Alex, we got some stuff to jump into here. We are going to jump into the NFL Top 100 to finish out our show. We're jumping into our next 10 guys. I'm actually pretty fired up about this one because the NFL Top 100. We've been doing this thing, and I seem to have lost my list here. Give me one.
I think I got it pulled up on the computer here, and the people out there in Twitch land and YouTube land should be able to see it. Let me ask you this question. Does the NFL Top 100 list, it sounds like we're at 80 to 71, right? We've been through the first 2 groups.
Yeah.
So if my eyes don't deceive me, it looks like number 80 is Rashawn Gary.
Which I hate.
Yeah.
It's so stupid
that
he is so high on this list.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So, on NFL.com here, it says his 2024 stats. Of 17 games, he had 47 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, Not 15 quarterback hits, 7.5 sacks, 1 pass defended, and 1 forced fumble. And it says here, even though Gary Stats took a slight dip in 2024, he anchored Green Bay's defense the entire season.
Look at the guys that are behind him on this list, and this is an egregious, horrible.
It's highway robbery.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Van Ginkel, Laramie Tunsil, Kyron Williams, Cameron Hayward, Jerry Jude, Trent McDuffie, for crying out loud, is ranked below Rashawn Gary. What are we doing here?
James Cook was the straw that stirred the drink in Buffalo. Like, I don't understand how some of these guys, are underneath this guy. It doesn't make sense. And I question why Trent McDuffie should not be ranked below him at all. Trent McDuffie is one of the best corners in football, and you're going to go ahead and put Rashawn Gary ahead of him?
Yeah, I'd put him in the top 50, top 30.
Yeah, I don't buy that portion of the list, and that's why I was saying earlier, like, I hate how this list is shaped out. Rashawn Gary's a good player, right?
Right.
The 23.5% of his pass rushes on third down last season, he generated pressure. 6th highest amongst defenders with 75 pass rushes on third down. He generated pressure on just 7.8% of his pass rushes on the early downs, so that's why his numbers took a dip. I don't buy this. I think Rashawn Gary should have been about maybe 12 spots lower.
Yep.
I mean, this is a senseless one for me. I don't buy that. Next up, let's talk about another one I don't like in this spot, and I don't think he should be in this spot. Dak Prescott sitting at 79. This is
we told you.
I think 63 slots lower than he was the year before, which, I mean, as you remember, 2 years ago, Dak looked really, really good when he was healthy, throwing the football. But this is, again, a really silly spot for him. I don't like. Really?
I've seen all over social media where it's like, Dak Prescott's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I'm like, does he have a ring?
Yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
He's not a top 10 quarterback. I'd put him in the top 15, 11 to 15.
Yeah, I could see top 15, but
not top 10.
No, and frankly, this is another situation where the guy should be about 15 slots lower. He should be in that bottom tier, the 100 through 90 spot. And really, his year last year was so miserable. I question whether he should be on this list at all.
And I mean, we all like cackled like hyenas at Jerry Jones pulling a knee jerk and paying him, the ridiculous bag that he got. The 70 or so $1 million contract extension that he got because Shedeur Sanders had one bad game in Colorado.
Yeah, that's all he was. He should have never got paid that money.
No.
Never. And I wouldn't have paid him that money. I would have just moved on and drafted my quarterback.
And think about what it's doing to your salary cap. Think about what it's doing to the Micah Parsons situation. You'd have had money to pay Micah Parsons the money he wanted to get. Now you're dealing with this nonsense. And it's just causing a domino effect.
Yeah, this is silly as hell. Dak Prescott at 79, no thank you. No thank you. He had 8 interceptions last year in 8 games. He only had 11 passing touchdowns. He had 4 fumbles last year. He turned the ball over more than he had passing touchdowns. So, I mean,
it's like 12 turnovers to 8 touchdowns. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I don't buy it. You had 8 interceptions, 4 fumbles, then you had 12 touchdowns, 11 through the air, 1 rushing. I mean, in any case, he shouldn't be there.
Those are Jameis Winston numbers.
Yeah. Number 78. Let's talk about Khalil Mack. He drops 49 spots from what he was the previous year. He gets rewarded a 1-year, $18 million contract. He's heading into his 12th season. He led the Chargers defense with 54 pressures last year. He was 11th season in his 11th season with the NFL. 420 pressures since 2018. It's 5th most among all edge defenders in that span. Khalil Mack's getting up there, obviously, in the years, but he's been dominant throughout his entire career. He got the decent contract with the Chargers, but sitting at 78, I think this is about right for him. I don't think he should be any higher than this. Father Time does no jobs.
Nope.
and here we are. Father Time is taking over with Khalil Mack. Am I right?
Yep, he is. It's the one we keep preaching availability and reliability on this show. These are the top two tenets, in our book here. And Khalil Mack is a very powerful defensive player. I mean, he's very prolific. Any defense that has this man on their team, has automatically gotten an upgrade, and the Chargers are no exception. Chargers have notoriously had, stout defenses.
Yep.
And even though the name escapes me at the moment, but the former head coach, who was a good defensive coordinator, just a crappy head coach.
Yep.
Who his name escapes me, but
Brandon Staley.
Yes, Brandon Staley. Thank you. But it goes to show that, some coaches are good as defensive coordinators and others just don't cut the mustard as a head coach. But even he understood the value that Khalil Mack brought to the team. And now that Jim Harbaugh's at the head, the hallmark of any great team is its defense.
Well, imagine what they did here. You brought back Khalil Mack, and let Joey Bosa, who is technically younger, walk out the door. Both of them coming off of injuries, and you have to pick one, and you send Joey Bosa out the door and you pick up Khalil Mack. I think that says a lot about Khalil Mack's value at this stage of his career, that he's still a very valuable player. And Joey Bosa goes off to Buffalo, and here we are. Khalil Mack gets signed to the $18 million deal. So clearly he's still an impact player, making the NFL top 100. He's still playing at a high level. Sitting at number 78 right now, I think that's about right, given what he accomplished last year. He played 16 games last year. He battled through injury. He did miss one game, I believe, due to injury, but he battled right through it. He had 6 sacks last year, 9 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 6 tackles for loss, 15 quarterback hits. I think he's a good fit, and I think after this year, because he is on a 1-year deal, I do think the Chargers are going to move off of him. But for this year, he gets them where they need to go. So that's a positive thing. Moving into 77. This is about right for this guy, too. T. Higgins. Yeah, we love T. Higgins around here. When he's healthy, he's one of the best receivers in football. Definitely the 1B with the Cincinnati Bengals.
If you're in a fantasy team and some doofus gets a Jamar Chase in front of you and you need a premium wide receiver that can get you fantasy numbers, let alone regular numbers on your football team, you want T. Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins was good, 911 yards. He had 73 receptions last year, 10 receiving touchdowns. He only played 12 games, though, and that seems to be a recurring theme when it comes to T. Higgins. It's just the injury issues. And he's always hurt every year, and that's like, it's very Anthony Richardson. We were talking about death, taxes, and injuries, and that's very much kind of what it is with T. He just can't stay healthy. Which is surprising for as big as he is. He's a really big-bodied receiver and really a major red zone threat. Federal McMillan is drawing a lot of comparisons to T. Higgins. Higgins is definitely the 1B. I don't even want to call him the wide receiver 2 over there in Cincinnati behind Jamar Chase, even though Jamar Chase is technically the 1A. This is T. Higgins is 1B.
Yes, and that's very fair.
He's shown on multiple occasions that he can be a number 1 receiver. If he go anywhere T. Higgins goes, let's say he leaves Cincinnati at some point, which he won't. He just got signed to an extension. But if he were to leave Cincinnati, let's say Cincinnati were to trade him, he becomes a number 1 receiver wherever he goes. Yep. I truly believe that. He's a true number 1. And I think this is a really solid spot for him, given the injury problem, given the fact that he hasn't been on the field for full seasons and stuff. This is about right there, 77 for T. Higgins. Don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact is he wasn't even ranked on the list last year. So the fact that he got on this year, he lands in a good spot. It makes sense for what he's contributed to the league, what he's contributed for the Bengals, his talent level. And the one thing that keeps holding him back from getting up the list is the number 2 things we keep talking about: availability and reliability.
Yep, that's exactly it. Ahead of him is a guy that I think is underrated on this list. I think
Yep.
he should be higher. I can't believe he's this low on this list. 76, Vita Vea, the
Yep.
defensive tackle out of the Tampa Bay Bucks.
This guy is a powerhouse.
Yeah, big boy.
Big boy.
He was unranked the year before. He moves up to number 76. In my opinion, this guy should be in the 40s. I
100%.
This is low for him. He is a space-eating monster. He's a run defender. He had 42 tackles last year. He had 10 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 13 QB hits. He had a pass defended. I mean, this guy is one of the best defensive tackles in football. He's been paid as one of the best defensive tackles in football, and he's just efficient. He only allows and this is per NFL.com, he only allowed 3.7 yards per carry last year compared to 4.7 yards when he was off the field. So, and he generated 47 pressures, the seventh most amongst defensive tackles. And it's his most in a single season in his entire career. I mean, second Pro Bowl nod last year. I mean, this is he's one of the best, one of the absolute best defensive tackles in the game, and he's ranked 76. Maybe it's just the fact that the position isn't necessarily sexy, but for him to be at 70,
gets the job done. And really, when you need somebody in the trenches and you got a goal line stand or you got a 3rd and 2 and you want to make sure, and they're going to either try play action or they will even dare run up the gut. Who do you want plugging up that gap hole? That's right, Vita Vea.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to talk about good run defenders and good tacklers. Let's talk about 75. This is a guy that moved down 11 spots. He was a former starter with the Baltimore Ravens, got traded away, actually got let go, got picked up by the Steelers. It's Patrick Queen. He played all 17 games last year. He had 129 tackles last year, 6 tackles for a loss, 5 quarterback hits. He had a sack, 7 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles. He had a really great year. And he continues, he always played at a really high level. He continues that. 84 consecutive regular season games since he was drafted in 2020. Makes the Pro Bowl with the Steelers. He said he had a down year. I think that's wrong. He's one of 3 players with 100-plus tackles, 5-plus tackles for loss, and 5-plus passes defensed in each of the last 3 seasons. The other ones to do it are Levante David and Foyesade Aluakan, who, he was hurt last year as well. But Patrick Queen, I mean, this seems a little low for him. I
agree.
Probably get him up into the 60s here, but I mean, he's coming off a really great season, as is the next guy on this list, who I'm blown away that he's as low as he is, Bobby Wagner.
Man.
And for Bobby Wagner to make this list at his age is huge. But he had 132 tackles in 2024. He actually led his team in tackles.
Yeah, I mean, he was a very prolific part of that Commanders defense. Yeah. You have that veteran presence back there. And he spent so much time with the Seahawks. Before coming over to Washington. He signed a 1-year deal to come back. Yep. So it's a smart move by Washington having a player of this man's caliber. And a 10-time Pro Bowler. I mean, when you get named to the Pro Bowl 10 times, I mean, you have to be good, right?
Yeah, and he's had at least 100 tackles in each of his 13 career seasons. So that ties him with Ray Lewis. He's trailing, according to NFL.com, he's trailing only London Fletcher with 14 consecutive seasons for 100-plus tackles since the stat was officially tracked in 1994. So, I think the fact that he's on here is good, but given what he did for that Washington Commanders defense, I would move him up as well a little bit.
Yep. Well, where would you move up? Like mid-50s?
Yeah, I'd probably stick him in the 60s. And he should definitely be ahead of the next guy here at 73. He only played 4 games. I don't understand why he's even on this list. I understand this is voted on by the players, the toughest guys that they've had to face off against and whatever else, but Christian McCaffrey,
at 73, and he dropped 70 spots. So you know what that means? I mean, he was ranked number 3 last year.
Yep, and He had the PCL injury last year, season, in week 13, and he's just been getting hurt a lot. He's always been injury prone throughout his entire career. Let's just face the facts. We talked. It's injuries galore. You always take the risk with Christian McCaffrey. If you're a fantasy football manager, you pick him up. You know that there's a likelihood that Christian McCaffrey's going to get hurt, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think
There's an inherent risk whenever you pick up a running back in fantasy football. That's why you probably draft 4 or 5 of them so you have depth.
Yeah, but not only with Christian McCaffrey, it's definitely elevated.
Right. And not just in fantasy too. I mean, in the regular world too. At this stage in his career, when he first was traded from the Carolina Panthers, I mean, that was a very prolific season. Last year, not so much. And this year, it's just a giant question mark in the air. And, when he's like one of the better team options on your team, along with George Kittle and everybody else, you got like, who's Brock Purdy going to throw it to? I mean, Brock's the star, but does he have any star receivers? Debo skipped town.
It's going to be throwing to Christian McCaffrey a lot, and they better hope that he stays healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his injury history, and it's extensive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they printed it out, it would be about as long as a CVS receipt. I mean, we're talking, calf injuries and Achilles injuries, and you're talking ACL tears, and you're talking shoulder injuries and concussions and broken feet and whatever else. I mean, this guy has been getting hurt a lot throughout his career. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he's been used as such a workhorse, whether he's in Carolina or whether he's in San Francisco. He was such a workhorse throughout his career, and here we are. I mean, last year he only played 4 games. He had 50 attempts for 200 yards. 4 yards per carry, 15 receptions for 146. He didn't score a touchdown. He had a fumble. I mean, I don't understand how he even landed on this list, given the fact that he didn't barely play. So
probably just name and marquee value, but we here at the Outside Blitz, name is one thing. I mean, but still, availability and reliability, and he was neither available nor reliable last year.
Yep, and a guy that I think is too high on this list is at number 72 as well, Sam Darnold. Look, I understand he had a great game or a great year last year. I won't try and taint that. But he went to a Minnesota Vikings situation where he had
one of the best coaches in football and one of the best receivers in football. The best receiver in football.
He got a Pro Bowl nod last year. I mean, and he signs a 3-year, $100 million contract with the Seahawks. I think it was a 1-year wonder. I think he's going to struggle this year. I don't think he's on this list next year, and I think this is too high for him on this list.
Right, and you think he's going to see ghosts in Seattle?
Oh, yeah, I think it's coming, and I don't think he retains that job, for the rest of the season. I think he'll get replaced by Jalen Milroe midway through the year. So that's not,
I don't have high hopes for that guy either.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold, if you look at his contract, all of his guaranteed money is this year. After this year, he has no more guaranteed money. So they can just dump him at will if they want. So
this is the definition of a prove it deal.
Yeah, he better play his ass off or else he's in trouble.
Yep.
And last but not least, the guy that I think this guy is low on this list. I don't like him. I think he's a piece of garbage. But I'll say that he's still low on this list because he was the best safety in football last year, is Kirby Joseph. By the numbers, he was one of the best safeties in football. He was the best safety in football. 58 tackles. He had a tackle for loss, 12 passes defended, 9 interceptions. He had a QB hit, and he had a pick 6. He was just incredible with the Lions last year. Let's just face it. He was great. He got paid. He's the highest paid safety in the league. 4 years, $86 million extension this past April when free agency opened up. He deserved every bit of that money. He played extremely well. We knew he was a good draft pick when he got picked up, and he's proven it. I mean, he's proven why he's worth it. I think he's a dirty player, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't change that he's one of the best safeties in football, and he deserved every bit of this contract.
Yeah, and kudos for him to getting on the list in the first place. But if it was me, and I know that I'm a Lions fan. If it was me, I would probably put him in in the next group, the 70 to 61. I would probably put him at 65.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he should be in the next group. This is a guy, again, underrated. How are you the best safety in football by the numbers, but sitting at 71? Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But maybe that's just me.
Who knows?
I feel like they kind of slept on him. But he's an outstanding player. I mean, he the only other safety since 2000 with 4+ interceptions in each of his first 3 seasons, and the other one is a Hall of Famer. That's Ed Reed.
Yeah, that is exclusive company.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's worth mentioning. But Kirby Joseph rounds out the list at number 71. Next week or next show in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be right before the NFL season here. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be talking about 70 through 61. So we'll jump into that next time. But that is our current situation when it comes to the NFL Top 100 right now. So we will end it there. But folks, that's our show. We are just a few weeks away from the regular season getting ready to kick off. We're excited for that. We got fantasy football stuff getting ready to open up. Excited for that. So I hope everybody is fired up for football. Alex, before we get out of here, let's give a shout out to a few of our sponsors. First of all, let's talk about It's Your Time Massage. Amanda's a wonderful massage therapist, the best in the Metro Detroit area. You can find her at iytmassage.com or book an appointment online, or you can book an appointment on Facebook at It's Your Time Massage LLC. You can get yourself an appointment. You can get all the good stuff, Swedish massages, deep tissue massages. You can get yourself, for a little extra, you get some CBD oil. You can get the foot sugar scrubs. You get the red light therapy. She's got memberships available right now. If you want to have a monthly membership, she'll take good care of you. Check it out, iytmassage.com, or you can check her out at It's Your Time Massage LLC on Facebook. She is the absolute best, is Amanda. So check it out. And remember, folks, it's
your time. Absolutely. There's always, we want, there are memberships available. There's all sorts of, there's also sorts of options available. One of the best massage therapists in the Metro Detroit area. Please do yourself a favor and check them out.
And if you haven't had hot stones, by the way, she does hot stones these days. My God, that's a life-changing experience right there to get into hot stones. So you can get that as well. So check it out. It's Your Time Massage LLC on Facebook, iytmassage.com. Also, let's talk about FaceKickedApparel.com. Sean Stockmeyer, his wonderful wife Lisa, they're doing awesome work all over there for all your custom hats, hoodies, T-shirts. You name it, you pick it, they stick it over there at FaceKickedApparel.com. And remember, folks, as per the norm,
get your face kicked in with savings.
That's a good fill in there. That's usually a boots thing. I like that. Also, let's talk about Patch Miracle Photography.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Andrew Langland, his wife, Chanel, they are doing awesome stuff over there. They're some of the best photographers in the Metro Detroit area. They've taken all of my family pictures. If you're looking anything for anything between graduation pictures.
What?
Baby photos.
What?
First birthday picture.
What?
Wedding photos.
What?
Engagement photos.
What?
If you're looking to do that special sexy boudoir shoot for that special someone in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. PatchMiraclePhotography.com. Or you can check them out on Facebook, Patch Miracle Photography on Facebook. You can get yourself an appointment, and they have some of the best pictures out there. They took great pictures of myself and my wife on our wedding night. They made me look like a movie star.
Absolutely. Like like George Clooney, right?
Hey, that's a good one. I appreciate that. Usually, you got Boots over here telling me I look like Lassie, but I digress.
Like Sean Connery, the late years. No, seriously, these guys are not only are they the best photographers, they're professionals. They'll show up on time. Hey, when we were at his wedding, they're helping us tear down the venue.
Yeah, they were helping us clean everything up. They made our night extra special, and I just loved every second of it. We take our kids to get their pictures done at Patch Miracle Photography. This is one of those businesses where I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't stand behind it. That's one of those things where we make sure that we talk about businesses that we care about, that we like, and businesses that take good care of us and that we can get behind. So PatchAmericaPhotography.com, check them out. They're going to take good care of you over there, and they're going to make your extra special things
even more special.
Yeah, commemorated in the most extra special way. How do you like that?
Yeah,
so,
I like it.
Yeah, also, let's go ahead and talk about Steel Twins Gaming. Alex, what do you got going on over there?
Well, voice acting is our flagship show. It is the the premiere series on our fabled channel. And obviously, we're doing a partnership thing. Like if you're on there right now, I'm doing Streamception right now. But I'm not the only guy that's doing this. I would really be remiss if I did not include Steel Twins Andy, our brother channel, brother. So if you're looking for nostalgic games, he's your guy. If you're looking for hot off the steel press. If you're looking for games that just came out, Donkey Kong Bonanza on the Nintendo Switch 2 is a prime example of that, and Star Fox 64 is on the docket for Nostalgic Mondays. Thank you very much for this. We've at every turn we shouted you out for that idea, and feedback is always appreciated. But whether it's voice acting, whether it's Super Mario Fridays, whether it's Nostalgic Mondays, we have you covered on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And again, I'm not the only one doing this stuff. We got somebody else on the list, right?
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Big Willie Dubs Gaming. We talk about him all the time. Now known as No Shot Bot TTV. You can check him out on the Facebook, on the TikTok.
The TikTok.
Yeah, there's my old man moment for the day. You can check out Will. He does a lot of fun stuff over there, mainly first-person shooters, but he jumps into other stuff, including just stuff where he's just hanging out and shooting the shit with people. It's just a good time. People have a tendency to chime in, and we almost got him to shave his beard, back during draft weekend, which I thought would have been hilarious if he had to shave that thing, because right now,
yep, and somewhat horrifying.
Oh, yeah, he's kind of looking like Stephen Avery after he got out of prison, but it's pretty funny. I've been trying, and his wife was not happy that we nearly got him to shave that thing. He got kind of lucky that his stream shut down. I'll put that in air quotes, but he got kind of lucky that it happened. And but we love Will over there. We love what he's doing. No Shot Bot TTV. You can check him out, and it's a very entertaining thing. Also, let's talk about books. We'll talk about books. I ate Cookies Out of the Trash. It's by a wonderful author, Tammy Pruitt, and it's an inspirational guide. It's written right by her, based on her real life experiences dealing with body image and eating issues. She shapes her book with her struggles and how to overcome them. It's supported with research-based facts. She is a scientist, ladies and gentlemen.
Science.
Yeah, exactly. And it's accompanied by her professional advice as a registered dietitian. She lets others know they're not alone in struggling with self-love, body image, disordered eating. And she's not, a health guru here, okay? She doesn't run 7 miles a day, although she does participate in some marathons. Good for her. She doesn't judge people for the unhealthy food they eat. She's not one of those people. She just motivates you. She's like a friend you never had. And she motivates you to rise to the occasion when it comes to those dilemmas. And she takes you down her memory lane, really, where life pitted challenges against her and what she did to overcome her struggles. I mean, she's a brilliant author. She's a wonderful person. We know her quite well, and we absolutely love Tammy over here. So we love this book. It's an excellent read. It reads like a conversation, not a boring one. Check it out. I ate Cookies Out of the Trash. You can get it on the .coms. As Boots says, you type on your keyboard. That's typing on the keyboard right there. You can type on your keyboard, go to the .com, barnesandnoble.com. You can check it out on Apple Books. Go ahead, get yourself a copy of I Eat Cookies Out of the Trash. You're going to love this book. It's an awesome read. I've read it. It's tremendous. So, folks, that's our show.
That's it.
That is our show. We are a few weeks away from football. We're a few weeks away from our fantasy draft, 2 weeks from yesterday. So we got 13 days left to our fantasy draft, so we'll be doing some stuff with that. After we draft, obviously, we'll be talking about our favorite draft picks and guys we should consider for fantasy football. So we'll be jumping into a little bit of that action. But, folks, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you right here on the Outside Blitz.
You're probably talking about us, because we're the only ones to talk about. Ciao!
A nice little